Hello there guys and girls, welcome to my channel Encompassing Finance. Today I'll be doing a video reviewing Tesla's stock and as well as NIO stock, basically evaluating their current price, comparing it to what it could be in the future, and seeing if the pullback the last 2 weeks is a good entry point right now, or if both of the stocks are in a bubble and the whole EV sector as a whole. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. Just before I do that, just a quick disclaimer: anything I do say in this video is not financial advice, it's just my own opinions and for entertainment purposes only. So yeah, I'll share my screen now. Screen is just to show you guys and girls is just basically the kind of current prices, the market caps, P/E ratios, and like comparing the whole landscape of the whole auto companies, manufacturers, EV sector, just everything like that. Because when you look at our stock, whether it be in e-commerce, electric vehicles, you should, within the first, in my opinion, this is what Peter Lynch says, within the first minutes or so, and Warren Buffett actually says, you should know that whether or not you'd invest in a company. So this is Tesla stock currently priced. So this is when it closed on March the 12th. So it's currently March the 14th. So tomorrow's Monday, so the stock market will open tomorrow. So it closed at $693 basically, $694 even, gonna round it up. And the current market cap is $665 billion. So it's quite a huge market cap, as you can see. And if you look at the max chart, you can see it's run up since 2020 basically. I was in the stock from August. I got out around $800, so not too long ago I got out of the stock. Actually, to be honest, I don't want to lie about it. I was in the stock, but I'm no longer in the stock. So let's look at NIO's market cap as well. Sorry about this, just loading up here. When I last checked, NIO's market cap was 70 billion. So if you just compare NIO's market cap and Tesla's market cap, they are roughly both almost 900 billion dollars. Obviously, when Tesla's market share price was higher only a month ago in February, as well as NIO's, they both were almost out. I'm pretty sure they were a valuation of 1 trillion for just two companies in the electric vehicle industry. Obviously, I know Tesla does solar energy as well as full self-driving cars, but they haven't done full self-driving cars yet, in the sense that they haven't released it mass wide, anything like that. I just wanted to bring this up as well. I know everybody talks about this. 1 second. So just compare it to traditional manufacturers. I know the word traditional manufacturer won't go down with some Tesla investors because Tesla is not a traditional manufacturer, but we do have to compare it to what it is right now. It is a car company, and they haven't released full self-driving to every single human on the earth. And I hope they haven't. No. So this is Toyota. It's the largest company in the world in terms of being a car manufacturer. It's the largest. This is Investopedia, so it's a legitimate website. That's the largest. Their market cap is 183 billion. Volkswagen market cap 95.8 billion. Just combine both of those together, hypothetically, that should round up to 300 billion. That's just them two. They're traditional auto manufacturers. I do know Volkswagen are bringing out electric cars, so you can say that I wouldn't say they're completely traditional, but they are bringing some stuff out. So what I want to do is compare all these notes. So if you have a look at this, the top tech car companies market cap combined. So if you add all out from that website, so Investopedia, Daimler, Ford, as well as Honda, that's BMW basically, General Motors, Fiat, Chrysler, Hyundai, and Nissan was last. If you add all their market caps up combined, they add up to 491 billion. Let's just round it up to 500 billion. Even if we add the market cap of Lyft, which is, let's round it up, 22 billion, and Uber 110 billion, Tesla's market cap is still higher by around 30 billion USD. And if you add Tesla and NIO's market cap alone, are bigger than the entire auto companies combined. We haven't even taken into consideration Nikola and CCIV. So if you have a look at Uber and Lyft, This is just to kind of negate the fact that people will say, "Oh, Tesla's not auto manufacturer. They're going to bring robo taxis out." No way that we can say how much revenue they'll get from robo taxis, but we can look at current taxi companies right now in terms of what kind of revenue. Obviously, I know Tesla will have their own fleet. Uber doesn't have their own cars. Lyft doesn't have their own cars. But we've got to go off what we can compare it to today. Their market cap is 112.15 billion, 110 round up, as well as Lyft. From when I showed you guys that slide of Lyft in terms of what we know about it. So if you look at their market cap as well, let's have a look. 21.8 billion. That's their current market cap. So like I said, even if we combine their market cap, Tesla's market cap is still higher by around 30 billion USD. So if you compare what Tesla price is right now, they don't have as many cars as all those 10 manufacturers combined, and they don't have a taxi fee at the minute. Yet they're still higher by around 30 billion USD. And Tesla new market cap, like I said, they're bigger than the whole auto manufacturer companies combined. We haven't even taken into consideration Nikola and CCIV. So if you have a look at Nikola, they don't even have a product, in my opinion. Uh, their market cap literally is 6.67 billion. They don't have a product that's even out, to my knowledge. Obviously, we know about Trevor, the CEO, and everything like that, in terms of him being controversial and everything like that. So what I'll do is I'm gonna compare one more thing to you guys. If I look at Ford, so Ford, obviously one of the most well-known companies in America, even throughout the world, but mostly in America. If you look at when they were in the stock market in 1981, they started off, and then they had a huge trajectory up in the 2000s, and then slowly declining, still declining, and will continue to decline in my opinion. I should not have showed this just in case we have a situation with Tesla like that where it becomes so pricey and that it falls slowly and slowly when competition ramps up from other EV companies, which in my opinion they will do, but I still would rate Tesla as the leader in that field. Obviously, I know people will talk about Tesla being a company that's doing other stuff, energy and stuff like that. They haven't announced anything except for solar, in my opinion, so we can't really talk about that. I know they got the batteries and everything like that, but they haven't really come up with anything in terms of like tangible products. So that whenever people talk about Tesla, they talk about all the growth that's going to happen, but they're all making theoretical, hypothetical kind of judgments. There's no kind of growth plan there from the in terms of other products. I know Tesla's CEO Elon Musk are love, by the way. I'm not having a go at Tesla shareholders or Elon Musk at all, but people like to inflate things and make assumptions about where Tesla's going to go in the future without any kind of indication of what it's going to do. So, Musk has said that, so we will take that on board. Solar energy as well. Um, Elon Musk has said that, so we'll take that on board. But this whole batteries, utilities, anything stuff like that, he hasn't really said anything about that, so we can't really compare it to anything else in the market. So I just want to show this as well on stock trades. These are the amount of people that are watching Tesla stock. There's more than half a million people are watching Tesla stock. And the same thing with NIO. I think it's just under, but if we add them both up together, there should be a million people that are watching both of them combined. Let's have a look. I just wanted to compare that with, yeah, so if you combine both of them, it's almost a million. It's not a million. It's I think it's around 900,000. But I just wanted to compare that to Amazon because a lot of the times people say, oh, uh, Tesla's the Amazon of today, just as a EV company. But everybody and their mom knows about Tesla stock. Back in the day, people weren't talking about Amazon as much as people are talking about Tesla right now in terms of investing. So that's just my opinion on it. Because yeah, Amazon 410,000, so it's got less basically people watching the stock in comparison to Tesla and NIO as well. If you consider the market cap of Amazon, which is I'm pretty sure it's the biggest company in the world after obviously Apple. well, and Google, to my knowledge. But if you compare that as well, let's have a look here. Have a look at the chart here, because people love to compare the charts of Amazon and Tesla. It was quiet for 10 years, 10 years or so. I think it was 1997 that came out. Yep, and then it went up slowly and slowly and slowly, and then it had a huge ramp up in yep, the late 2019, I'd say, when it's currently divided right now. They do a stock split as well, in my opinion. But I just wanted to compare that to Tesla because as well, I'm not saying Tesla, I'm not anti-Tesla or anything like that. I still believe that there's value in Tesla, but Tesla even had a quiet stem as well. And then in 2018, I believe it was slowly starting some more recognition, and then 2020 just popped. And then obviously it popped, and then it kind of dropped a little bit from the 800s. That's when I was in the stock and I got out, to be honest, because I kind of felt like everything was kind of overvalued and overextended at that moment in time. But yeah, so I just wanted to show this just to give you like my own kind of an opinion of what everything's valued at and why I think the EV sector as a whole is kind of overvalued and in a bubble. I wouldn't say Tesla's in a bubble. NIO, I'm not 100% sure. NIO, I do think it's going to be a second Tesla. But in regards to how much market share they take from Tesla, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really owned the stock in the past. I've owned Tesla just because, as well, it's a Chinese company, so they don't release as much information in comparison to Tesla. And going off what the CEO says, I do like the CEO, to be honest. He's quite knowledgeable in what he says, but I don't think, unless the Chinese government kind of prefer NIO products in China, I don't think it will take any comparison. Um, Tesla's going to do better in the US in comparison to NIO, but NIO could do better in China. Tesla. It just depends how much they sold. Tesla's car was the third best-selling car in China, I think, last month. Some data came out regarding that. But in regards to Tesla valuation and where it could go in the future, I just want to compare a few things. Largest companies. Just because one way we could say that basically, let's have a look. If you compare Tesla in terms of solar, because it's being the largest solar company in the world right now. Obviously, FSLR are one of the biggest ones. If you compare Tesla right now in terms of market cap, so 909 million, that's the market cap. I think that's the Chinese company. There's some Canadian ones. Tesla's not likely to get. This is the one that's probably more realistic in terms of figures. First Solar, quite popular as well on the stock exchange. So if Tesla was to start getting a lot more larger footprint in the solar market and to do it worldwide in terms of Europe as well, because I've never heard about Tesla solar. I mean Europe, in the UK, I never heard about solar panels or anything like that in the UK. But they were to expand their current products in terms of solar energy worldwide, particularly into countries where the climate is hot, South America, Africa, parts of Asia. I do think the stock price could rise. I don't know how much it could rise by, but it definitely will rise back to where it was previously. So if you look back at the chart around the 800s, that's why I see it being fairly valued at when we take into consideration the plans with the solar energy. But in regards to like batteries and what they're going to do with batteries in terms of like utilities and anything like that, I have no idea about what they could do because I'm not gonna do guesswork. The people on Twitter and Facebook online on stock trades that have these crazy valuations of like $10,000 Tesla. I don't know what world they're living on. I think they're living on Mars, but uh, unfortunately, SpaceX and Tesla are two different things. Just because the CEO of Tesla is also the CEO of SpaceX doesn't mean that it's the same companies. I think a lot of people confuse them quite a lot. And yeah, my only thing was so many people start knowing about everybody and their mom knows about Tesla stock now. So I just thought to myself, it's kind of getting into that territory where when too many people know about a good thing, it stops being a good thing. So that's just my opinion. But I do see when the market had to sell off from the 800s and now down to around 700, I do say going back up to the 800s, even without any new news coming out, just with hopefully with Elon Musk expanding solar energy, uh, renewable energy as well. But regards to what they do with batteries and stuff like that, I do think if you compare everything, the robot taxis, solar energy, full self-driving, in the future, I do think it could be $1,000 stock if they all get executed correctly. So that's about a $300 rise from where it's right now. I'm not sure exactly what price it will open up on Monday, but that's just my opinion. In regards to NIO, like I said, I haven't got much opinions on NIO in regards to the company in terms of valuations, but NIO's had a huge run up this, not, it's 2021 now, so I can't really say this year, but last year, even in February as well, and it's an unprofitable company, so we're gonna make that with what you wish, but it's had a huge run up and it's had a huge drop. To my knowledge, they are not doing anything as great as Tesla in terms of full self-driving. They're not doing solar panels, so renewable energy. They're not even doing that. The batteries, I know they do exchanges, but that's only like a Chinese thing in my opinion. They don't want to go much further than China. So in my opinion, Tesla's a safer bet, as well as being a more, what I'd say is more likely to give you a return on your investment, in my opinion. That's all I have to say for today, guys. Though anyway, so like the video, share, subscribe. Apologize if I caused anybody in offense, any Tesla on your shareholders, but I still love Tesla the company. I still love the CEO, but there becomes a limit whereby if you're not comfortable being in the company anymore, then you just gotta sell your stock and take profits when you can. Anyway, take care, peace, goodbye.